How y'all doing? So the thought that's been living rent-free in my head today is customer service getting worse, or are customers just getting harder to please? Because depending on which side of the counter you're standing on, apparently the answer is obvious. You ask a customer and they'll tell you nobody cares anymore. You wait for forever, nobody answers the phone. You finally get somebody and they can't help you. You ask for a manager, and apparently the manager has entered the witness protection program somewhere. And don't even get me started on calling customer service. Please listen carefully because our menu options have changed. They've been saying that for 20 years. At this point, I think we can stop calling them new menu options. But then go stand on the other side of the counter. Ask somebody who works in the public, they'll tell you customers have changed too. People are impatient, everybody wants an exception, or everybody's problem is an emergency, and sometimes the person getting screamed at had absolutely nothing to do with the problem in the first place. They're just the unfortunate soul wearing a name tag. So we've got customers saying customer service isn't what it used to be, and employees saying customers aren't what they used to be. And you know what? I think they might both be right. Because somewhere between the customer is always right and please press 7 to speak to with somebody who will eventually transfer you back to the department you started with in the first place, something changed. Actually, I think a lot of things changed. Businesses changed, technology has changed, customers changed, expectations have changed, and the poor person standing behind the counter got dropped right in the middle of all of it. So today we're going to look at both sides of that counter. What happened to customer service, what happened to customers, and maybe most importantly, what does good customer service actually look like anymore? Because I have a feeling the problem isn't entirely on either side of that counter. So grab your shovel, we've got some digging to do today. Let me start on the customer side of this counter, because I am so tired of walking into a business ready to spend my money and somehow feeling like I'm bothering the people who work there. And I'm not talking about expecting somebody to roll out the red carpet and treat me like royalty. I don't need you to follow me around the store. I don't need somebody standing at the door throwing rose petals at my feet, though that would be fun. I'm just trying to buy something. Could we maybe acknowledge that we're both in the room? Call me crazy. I've walked up to counters, put my stuff down, and the person ringing me up doesn't even look at me. They're too busy having a conversation with the coworker standing next to them, and apparently it's very important conversation. Because I'm standing there with my wallet out and somehow I'm the interruption. Or worse, they're on the phone, and I'm not talking about, hey, I've got a customer, let me call you back kind of situation. Oh no, I'm standing there listening to a full-blown argument with their boyfriend or girlfriend, yelling, cussing at each other. Walked in on a couple of those. Apparently somebody went somewhere with somebody they weren't supposed to be with. And now I've accidentally purchased a candy bar and season 3 of their relationship. Meanwhile, I'm just standing here. Can I pay for this? Then the transaction finishes. No hello, no eye contact. So why would I even expect a thank you? I get nothing. They barely even acknowledged I was there. They hand me the receipt and go right back to whatever they were doing. My dad used to have a saying for situations like that. He'd say, I didn't get a thank you, kiss my ass, or go to hell, or anything of the sort. And you know what? At this point, I'd almost take go to hell. At least then I'd know you actually noticed me. And that's where I think customers have a legit complaint. Good customer service doesn't always mean giving me something free. It doesn't mean breaking company policies for me. It doesn't mean treating me like I'm the most important person who has ever walked through those doors. Sometimes good customer service is really simple. Hi, how are you? Did you find everything you needed? Thank you. I know thank you is just something that's not said anymore. That's it. That's the entire list. Because if I'm spending my money at your business, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect the person taking that money to at least acknowledge that I'm standing there. Or somewhere along the way, that very basic level of customer service seems to have disappeared. So when customers say customer service isn't what it used to be, I'm not ready to tell them they're wrong, because sometimes it really isn't what it used to be. But before we decide this whole problem belongs to the person wearing the name tag, we probably ought to walk around the other side of the counter, because I've spent enough time over there to know customers have changed too. All right, customers, it's your turn, because I spent a lot of years standing on the other side of the register. And let me tell you, customer service may have changed, but some of you customers, you've changed too. I can't tell you how many times I've been standing at the register, the light is off, I'm obviously not open, and somebody walks up with a cart and just starts to unload onto the belt. Not one item, oh no. We're unloading the whole cart. Bread, milk, frozen foods, 6 cans of something or another. By the time I notice what's happening, we're committed to this relationship apparently. And I'm thinking to myself, could you might have asked, are you open? Because there's a reason that little light above the register isn't on. There's a reason for that. That's generally our first clue that the register's not open. Now, to be fair, if there's a drawer in that register, I'm probably going to take you, because that's how I was taught customer service was supposed to work. You're standing there, your groceries are already unloaded. I'm not going to make you pull everything back or put everything back in the cart and move somewhere else if I can help it. But just maybe ask first. And then we've got the phone people. Oh, the phone people. They walk up to the register having a full-blown conversation on their phone. They don't look at you. They don't acknowledge you. They just keep talking to whoever they're talking to. So what do? You don't want to be rude. You don't want to interrupt their conversation, because if you do, that look that says, excuse me, can't you see I'm on the phone? Or some look, something similar to that. Message received, so I don't interrupt you. I ring everything up, you pay, I hand you your receipt, and you walk away. And I start helping the next customer. Suddenly, out of the clear blue, I get the nasty, you're welcome. Apparently, I was supposed to say thank you. I didn't want to interrupt your phone call, Missy. What exactly was I supposed to do here? Interrupt you? If I interrupt you, I'm rude. Don't interrupt you, and I'm rude. I believe that's what we call a catch-22, or a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of scenario. And here's where this starts getting interesting. Remember what we talked about in Act 1, customers walking into a business and feeling like the employee doesn't even acknowledge they're there? That's bad customer service, and I stand by that. But customers, sometimes you do the exact same thing. You walk up to that register, never even look at the person bringing your stuff up. You never say hello, never get off your phone, and treat the person standing behind the counter like they're just another piece of equipment at that store. Scan the groceries, take the money, print the receipt. Then we get angry because customer service doesn't feel personal anymore. Well, personal requires two people. Maybe we've already hit our first little layer of common ground. Employees should acknowledge customers, absolutely, but customers should probably acknowledge employees too, because whether you're standing in front of the counter or behind it, there's still a human being standing on the other side. We've talked about the customer, we've talked about the employee, but there's somebody else involved in this little relationship that we haven't talked about yet, the company. Because here's something customers don't always see. That person standing behind the counter, they probably didn't make the policies you're angry about. They didn't decide how many people were scheduled today. They didn't design the computer system. They didn't decide what could and couldn't be returned. They didn't decide how many coupons you can use. And I promise you, they did not wake up this morning saying, you know what would be fun today? Let's make Bob angry. But guess who gets to explain all those decisions? The person wearing the name tag. And this is where customer service can get really complicated, because companies want employees to give great customer service. Absolutely. But they also want you to work faster, keep the lines moving, answer the phone, stock the shelves, keep your area clean, handle returns, watch your labor hours, get everything done before you leave. And make sure every customer feels like they're the only customer in the building. Those things don't always work together. They don't always work hand in hand. And if you got 10 customers standing in line, I can't spend 15 minutes having a wonderful personal conversation with every one of them, because customer number 10 isn't going to say, look at that wonderful customer service Mark is giving customer number 1. No, customer number 10 is looking at their watch thinking, why in the heck is this line not moving? And here's another part customers don't always realize. Sometimes the employee standing in front of you generally cannot fix the problem. The computer won't allow it. Company policy won't allow it. They don't have the authority. So they tell the customer, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And what does a customer hear? I don't want to help you. Those are two completely different things. Then comes the famous line, I want to speak to your manager. And sometimes the manager comes over, hits 3 buttons, and does the exact thing the employee just spent 10 minutes telling you couldn't be done. Well, that's helpful, because now the customer thinks the employee was lying. The employee looks like an idiot. And the company has just taught the customer, if somebody tells you no, keep pushing until somebody says yes. And then everybody wonders why the customer keeps pushing. But there's another side to this. Companies have spent years telling us that everything should be faster, easier, more convenient. Order it from your phone, pick it up in an hour, get it delivered tomorrow, use the app, skip the lines, 24-hour support. That's the one I love, 24-hour support. We train customers to expect convenience, and then at the same time, a lot of businesses started asking fewer employees to do more work. Think about that combination. Customer expectations went up while the number of people available to meet those expectations sometimes went down. And standing right between those two things is the person wearing the name tag. The customer walks in thinking, I gave this company my money, fix this. And honestly, that's not an unreasonable expectation. The employee standing there thinking, I would love to fix this, but I don't have the people, the authority, or sometimes even a computer system that'll let me do it. And honestly, that's not unreasonable either. So now we've got 2 frustrated people standing across a counter from each other, getting angrier at the person they can see, when the thing they're actually angry about might be somewhere neither one of them can see. And that's when I started wondering, maybe customer service didn't just get worse. Maybe we built a system where giving good customer service got harder. And if that's true, we probably need to dig a little deeper. we're getting deeper into this hole because we've been asking, are customers getting harder to please? And I think the answer might be yes. But before we start blaming customers for that, we should probably ask another question. Who taught us to expect all this stuff? Think about how businesses advertise to us. Faster, easier, more convenient, order ahead, skip the line, same day pickup, next day delivery, get it with one click, track it from your phone. Customer service available, again, 24 hours a day. That's just such a joke. Companies have spent billions of dollars telling us doing business with us is going to be easy. And you know what? We believe them. Because once you've experienced convenience, it's really hard to go backwards. The first time somebody tells you, order this today and it'll be sitting on your front porch tomorrow, it's amazing. But after you've had that for a while, tomorrow stops feeling amazing. Tomorrow becomes what you expect. Then one day the package takes 3 days and suddenly we're looking out the window thinking, what is taking so long? 20 years ago, we would have ordered something from a catalog, mailed them a check, and forgotten what the hell we ordered by the time it showed up. Now, the tracking page hasn't uploaded for 45 minutes and we're ready to launch a congressional investigation. That's what expectations do. Today's amazing convenience becomes tomorrow's minimum requirement. And businesses know this because if one company says, we'll have it ready tomorrow, somebody else says, we'll have it ready today. Then somebody else says, we'll bring it to your house. And eventually, the customer starts expecting everybody to do it. But here's where things start falling apart. You can't promise customers more and more convenience while giving the people providing that convenience fewer and fewer resources, and then act surprised when everybody gets frustrated. Imagine a store telling customers, order online and it will be ready for pickup in an hour. That's great, but somebody has to go get that order. Somebody has to find everything. Somebody has to bag it. Somebody has to bring it out. And if that same employee is also supposed to answer the phone, help customers in the store, stock the shelves, and cover somebody's lunch, that 1 hour promise didn't come with another human being. It just came with another job. And then the customer shows up an hour later, their order isn't ready, and from the customer's perspective, they've got every right to be irritated. You told me it would be ready. And that's fair, but the employee is standing there thinking, I know we told you that. I'm trying. Less the sarcasm, that's fair too. Now those two people are mad at each other over a promise neither one of them actually made. The advertisement made the promise, the customer believed it, and the employee got handed the shovel and told, figure it out. Sound familiar? So yes, I think customers probably are harder to please than they used to be. But I don't think that's entirely because customers suddenly became unreasonable. We have spent years being taught that everything should be faster. Everything should be easier and available right now. And businesses have spent years competing to see who can promise us the most convenience. Eventually, those promises become expectations. And maybe that's one of the biggest things we've uncovered today. Customer service isn't judged against what was considered good 20 years ago. It's judged against the best service we experienced yesterday. And once that becomes the new standard, everybody has to somehow keep up. So maybe the question isn't simply, why are customers so hard to please? Maybe we should also be asking, who taught us to expect so much? So after all this digging, maybe we should answer the obvious question. What does good customer service actually look like? Because after everything we've talked about, I don't think good customer service means the customer always gets what they want. I don't think it means breaking company policy, and I don't think it means giving somebody something free every time they're unhappy. And I definitely don't think it means an employee has to stand there smiling while somebody screams at them. Because how many times have employees heard, you don't know what kind of a day that customer has had? And you know what? That's absolutely true. Maybe they're having one of the worst days of their life. Maybe something happened before they walk through those doors that we know nothing about. And maybe giving them a little patience and understanding is exactly what they need. But can we turn that around for just a second? Because a customer doesn't know what kind of day the employee has had either. You might be the 15th person today who's yelled at that employee about the exact same problem that they have absolutely no control over. And they've had to stand there 15 times, take the yelling, apologize for something they didn't do, and explain a policy they didn't create. The customer number 16 walks up, and we're expecting the employee to smile like nothing ever happened. Understanding can't always travel in one direction. If we're going to say you don't know what kind of a day that customer has had, then we also have to remember you don't know what kind of a day that employee has had. Everybody walked into the intersection carrying something, and maybe we'd get along a little better if we remember that. To me, good customer service can actually be really simple. Let me give you an example. I go to the same Starbucks pretty regularly. I order through the app, usually the same thing, a caramel macchiato, and normally add 4 shots of espresso. Don't judge me. I have things to do. Well, one day I placed my order. When I picked it up, the person making my coffee looked at me and said, "I noticed you didn't add your 4 shots of espresso. Did you just forget?" And I said, "Why, yes, I did just forget." So she added them. Now think about that. She didn't give me $100. She didn't rewrite company policy. She didn't call the CEO. She noticed something. She remembered me, and she took a second to ask. That is customer service. I know some people are like, "God, you got that at Starbucks?" When I told somebody one time, they said, "Oh, you got that at Starbucks? Oh my God." But that's why I'm happy to leave them a good tip when I do my order at Starbucks, because they go beyond simply handing me what I ordered. They pay attention. They treated me like a regular customer instead of order number 472. But here's the other half of that story. Good customer service can't be entirely the employee's responsibility, because remember what we uncovered earlier? Personal requires 2 people. If somebody is trying to help me, I have a responsibility too. Maybe they're slammed, maybe they're new, maybe the computer isn't cooperating, maybe something happened that they genuinely can't control. I can be frustrated with the situation without treating the person standing in front of me like garbage. And employees, we've got responsibility too. Maybe we've had just a whole terrible day. Maybe the last customer was awful. Maybe you're understaffed. Maybe you'd rather be anywhere else. And I understand that, because there's times I'd rather be anywhere else, but the customer standing in front of you didn't necessarily cause any of that either. That's the part I think both sides sometimes forget. The employee isn't every customer they've dealt with today, and the customer isn't every employee who's disappointed them before. These are 2 people meeting each other right now. So maybe good customer service isn't complicated. Acknowledge me, listen to me, try to help me, and if you can't, just explain why. And customers, listen back. Be reasonable. Understand that sometimes the answer really is no. And remember that the person wearing the name tag is still a person. Because maybe good customer service was never really about the customer's always right. Maybe it's something much simpler. Treat the person on the other side of the counter like you'd want to be treated if you were standing there. Employee or customer. Seems like that rule works from either side. So after all this digging, is customer service getting worse? Yeah. Sometimes I think it is. And are customers getting harder to please? Sometimes I think that's true as well. And I know that's not nearly as satisfying as picking one side and blaming them for everything. But after everything we've dug through today, I don't think there's one villain in this story. Some employees have forgotten the basics. Stuff like look at me, acknowledge me, say hello, maybe even throw a thank you. And please, if you're having a screaming match with your boyfriend while you're ringing me up, maybe put that episode on pause until I leave. I'll catch the season finale next time. Actually, let me tell you a quick story. And let me just say, I know I'm going to hell for this, but it was years ago, but nonetheless. One time I was in a store at about 2 o'clock in the morning. The guy behind the counter was arguing with his girlfriend on the phone. And something that should have taken maybe 5 minutes ended up taking about 20 minutes because apparently I had arrived right in the middle of a relationship crisis. So I'm standing there thinking, you just wasted 15 minutes of my time. I think I'm going to make your life just a little harder. He finally gives me my stuff. I start walking towards the door, and right before I leave, I turn around and yell, "Ray, come back to bed, baby." And I left. Yes, I know what you're thinking, but hey, he wasted 15 minutes of my time. I gave him 3 days of trying to convince his girlfriend he really was at work. I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying sometimes customer service has consequences. Anyways, customers, we've got some work to do too. Put the phone down for 30 damn seconds. Look at the person helping you. Ask before unloading your entire cart onto a register with the light turned off. And when something goes wrong, remember that person standing in front of you might have absolutely nothing to do with what went wrong. Then we've got the companies. You can't keep promising customers faster, easier, more convenient, and then give the employee responsible for delivering that promise less and less things to work with. Because eventually somebody is going to disappoint somebody, and the two people standing across the counter from each other are going to take the blame for decisions neither one of them made. But I think the biggest thing we've uncovered today is actually much simpler than all of that. Both sides are asking for almost the exact same thing. The customer is saying, "Would you please acknowledge that I'm standing here?" And the employee is saying, "Would you please remember there's a human being standing behind this name tag?" That's it. That's the common ground. Both people want to be treated like people. Well, imagine that. And maybe we've got so focused on customer service that we've forgotten about something even more basic: human service. How we treat each other. Because you don't know what kind of a day the customer has had, and that's true, but you don't know what kind of a day the employee has had either. Maybe the customer just received terrible news. Maybe the employee has already been screamed at 15 times today. Maybe both of them are exhausted. Maybe both of them just want to get through the day and go home. And neither one of them knows the other person's stories. So maybe before we immediately assume the employee doesn't care, or here comes another entitled customer. We've all thought that. Come on, all of us in customer service, we thought that before. Here comes another entitled customer. We give each other about 5 seconds of grace. Just enough time to remember there's a human being standing there. Because good customer service requires effort from the businesses. It requires effort from the employees. But being a good customer requires a little effort too. And none of that requires perfection. Just a little patience, a little respect, and every once in a while, look up from your phone long enough to say hi. Funny, after all that digging, we ended up finding common ground right there, on both sides of the counter. But that's just the way I see it. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling customers how to act. I'm not telling employees how to act. Heck, I'm just a guy here with a shovel. We've got a lot more digging to do, so let's keep digging.